right? I was a design engineer full-time, working my job, making the paychecks, but I wanted to be in this gardening sector, the food sector, mainly because I felt that there is a 20, 30-year immediate future in the space. And if I figured it out, if I risked that 5-year entry level to figure it out, I would really set myself up for the following 20 to 30 years of just really putting a dent and really making a difference in the community and in the space. So I quit. I went and worked at a garden center. Learned everything from what does a consumer think about when they're looking at a plant. When you go buy a loaf of bread, you're looking for that loaf that's not crushed, or you're looking for the ones that are more freshly made. If you're looking at the tag on it, the time, right? Or if you're always going for a specific kind of bread, you're either a rye person or not a rye bread person. So like all those different stigmas belong in the plant world too. It's just there's a community, there is a relationship that you need to have with a plant. Buying a plant is a lot like buying a carpet. You don't buy a beautiful Persian rug that's a $50,000 online. You go to the store, you check it out. It's the experience of gardening. All of those things, you can't pick that up by reading an article on some blog, right? You have to live it. You have to work it. And what that does, it allows you to build relationships in levels, in ways that nobody else can. The relationships I have with those garden centers, because I worked there, because I was in their front lines, because they watched me do the work, is different than some engineer that's just like, hey, I got this design, and they're going to just laugh you off, right? Like they're not going to have even that conversation with you. So I think, so I guess going back to my point is, if you want to be, and like, if that's your aspirations, then all the power to you. You're about to enter a lot of heartache right off the bat, because all your friends are going to be making moves. They're going to be working good jobs, making good money, buying places, doing things, like advancing in their life. And you're going to be sitting in an office on Corridon, and you're going to be banging your head against the table trying to figure your life out.
Yeah, you did it very you did it very strategically from that perspective, right? Because you really were the user. You had the things needed to reduce your risk and have the greatest odds of success, right? Because you knew the engineering side of things. You had worked in a company that produces really good market-ready products. You worked in a gardening center, so you knew how people talked, how people walked, what they purchased, what they didn't purchase. You set yourself up that way. And then there's other entrepreneurs that, there's no one style, one shoe fits all, but you have other entrepreneurs who come from outside the industry. They have maybe a parallel experience they could draw upon, and they try to enter really from the outside. The more I talk with other entrepreneurs, Reza, the more I'm thinking, like, again, you can do any type of startup, but if you want to reduce your risk, being your user, having walked in the shoes of your customer before you start that business, seems like probably the best way to stack the odds, wouldn't you say?
I'd say it honestly comes down to one core value, and that's competency. That's when you're talking to your customer, and you've tailored a product to the customer, and you are the customer, you speak their language. So when they're asking you about what kind of basil this is, so you're going to have to be able to explain this is a dolce fresca, or this is a sweet Thai basil, and this is what you would use it for. This is what you would use that for. This is what this tastes like. This is what that tastes like. What do you do? How do you pick them? How do you pick these plants so you can continuously be able to use this unit, right? It comes down to competency, right? If you're not able to show enough competency for that first few sales for people to buy your product, they're going to be like, because they're really not buying your product, they're buying you, they're buying into you, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not the guy that just like head to toe lived it, knows it, breathes it, it's not, you're not going to have a good chance of selling the product, if you know what I mean.